The market just hit a turning point. Inventory has surged to its highest level in 5 years. Sales are sliding, sellers are dropping prices, and nearly 2,000 homes either failed to sell or expired last month alone. If you're wondering whether Miami-Dade is slipping into a buyer's market, this data in this video makes it crystal clear. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent, and this is your June market update for single-family homes in Miami-Dade County. We're seeing inventory stagnate, homes sitting longer, price reductions accelerate, and yet prices are still hanging on. So is the market healthy? Is it slowing? Is it just confused like a lot of people out there who are trying to piece together the puzzle pieces? Well, stick around and I'm gonna walk you through every single number that you need to know to make a smart real estate decision for you and for your family. And if you find this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and check the description down below for all my contact info, including a link to a free strategy session that you can book with me. So let's go ahead and dive on in. We're gonna start with inventory, okay? So active inventory, active listings, AKA inventory, in June held steady at 6,420. Almost the same as May, but compared to last June, that's an increase of 1,530 additional listings, a 31.3% jump year over year. So we can see that in the green line there, whole lot more listings. And to put that in perspective, we haven't seen inventory at this level since June of 2020, way over here. So it's been a long time, okay? It's 5 years to be precise. So here's the really interesting part, in my opinion. New listings, that's our blue line here, new listings are actually down. So we saw 1,659 new listings in June, which is 187 fewer than May, a 10.1% drop month over month. And year over year, it's a 4.3% decrease, down just 69 listings from June's 1,530. So more homes are on the market, not because more sellers are listing, but because listings just aren't selling, okay? So next graph we're gonna look at here, we're gonna talk about sales and median sale price, sale price that everybody wants to know. So speaking of sales, as we just were, June saw 906 closed sales, which is 75 fewer than May's 981. That is a 7.6% drop in the number of sales right there, as you can see, month to month. Compared to last July over here, we're actually down, that'll be more like right there, we're actually down 15.1% from 1,667 sales, compared to last June. So if you look at the 5-year chart, you'll see that the tipping point was actually early 2022 over around here. That's when we got, big drop, and then it's sort of, we had seasonal waves, but it's been sort of staggering downward. That was our biggest drop right there at the beginning of 2023. Really, it was the holidays of 2022 into January of 2023. We haven't reached that low of number of sales rather, since that time, but we've always sort of hit the seasonal lows. But overall, we never got back up to that tipping point that was in 2022, like we were saying. And that's actually when interest rates started climbing, was at the beginning of 2022. So, really early 2022, right over here, very, very end of 2021 was when we started to see interest rates climbing. And then, early 2022 is when they started getting high, okay? So that really marked the beginning of a consistent decline in sales volume. And yet here is the actual kicker, my friends. Prices have not fallen, okay? So the median sale price in the green line there, median sale price in June was $669,000. That's down $1,000 from May, just a small little $1,000 right there. However, it's up $9,000 year over year compared to last July over here. Okay, So, that's a 1.4% increase year over year, which is less than what we historically see, but still, nonetheless, with very few sales and interest rates being super high, it's very interesting that demand has remained as such that prices have been able to continue to increase, albeit not, leaps and bounds, but increasing nonetheless. And, to put it into a little more context, we've sort of been hovering in this $670,000 to $675,000 range since October of 2024, which is right around there. Okay, so we've been really hovering in this 675 to 670 range since then, with one outlier, which was February of 2025 over here. Got a little bit lower, but pretty much dipped to 650 for 1 month, and then it was right back up to that 670, 675 range. So kind of an outlier. Zooming out, though, you could really say that prices have been sort of trading sideways. They may have year over year, they may have increased, but it's been more of a sideways trend, since that time, since that October of 2024. But they're not breaking down. If you're looking for the real estate crash, it's not here. I told you guys on my videos, from that time period that I didn't think that it was going to be occurring, and here it is, still not occurring. So they're pretty much just going sideways. We're going to talk about that more. Here's a stat for perspective. Over the past 5 years, Miami-Dade single-family homes are up 65.2%. So that's going from this June over here. That's a 65.2% increase, which averages out to about 13.04% annual appreciation, okay? Now let's talk about how long it takes to actually sell your home on this market, all right? So average days on market here versus the closed price to original price ratio. We're gonna talk about what that is in a second, but starting it off with average days on market in June was 86. So we can see our green line there coming in at 86 in June. That's up only 1 day from May's 85 days on market, but it's way up from 64 days on market last June, okay? So that's a 34.4% increase year over year, or in other words, homes are taking over a month longer to sell than they were this time last year. So that increase in time on the market directly affects seller outcomes, which is what the original price to close price ratio is. All that basically means is compared to what a seller originally listed their property for, what is the percentage that they're getting versus that list price. So if they listed it for $500,000 and they sold for $500,000, that would be 100% original price to close price ratio. If they listed it for $50,000 and it sold for $450,000, that would be a 90% close price to original price ratio, okay? So looking at that, that's our blue line there. We see that the original price close price ratio, it's a mouthful, I know, it came in at 95.1%. That's down 0.2% from May and down from 96.6% last July, which is a 1.5% drop year over year. So sellers are just not only sitting longer on the market, they're getting less than what they originally asked for when they finally do eventually sell their homes, okay? And personally speaking from experience, I don't think I've ever received more texts, emails, phone calls from other agents regarding price reductions on their listings than I did in June, and continuing into July now, which is when I'm recording this. We do the June data in July, the June update in July, because we don't have all the July data yet in July. So, the best we can do is June, right? So let's go ahead and connect that to months of inventory and expired listings, which are two metrics that really show how much the market leverage has shifted. Okay, so months of inventory, all that means is how long would it take to sell the existing supply of inventory if no new listings came on the market. Okay, so at the current rate of sales versus how many listings are actually on the market, how many months would it take to sell? Okay, and then we're going to look at expired listings. So first off, the green line, which is months of inventory, we are now at 7 months of inventory. That is the same as last month, but it's up from 5 months last June. Okay, so to quick little recap for you guys on months of inventory. Usually 1 through 5 months of inventory is considered a seller's market. Things are moving fast, okay? 6 months of inventory is a balanced market, and then 7+ months of inventory is considered buyer territory, okay? That's a buyer's market. Things are sitting longer. Sellers are getting more desperate. We're seeing closed price to original price ratio, dropping to the floor, basically. So that's what that means, okay? So we've been at or above 6 months of inventory since September of 2024. So if you look at the green line there, that's going to be right around there that we've been, either at or above. I guess it'd be right there, at or above 6 months of inventory. Boom, since right here, okay? And you can see even maybe a little bit before that. I guess it would have been right about there, July. Hard to tell on the 5-year scale, but yeah, right about here. So since that time, we've been at or above 6 months of inventory. So it's either been a balanced market for Miami-Dade single-family homes, or it's been a seller's market in that time. Now let's layer in expired listings, which is our blue line there. June saw 1,615 expired listings. That's up 120 expired listings from May's 1,495. So that is an 8% increase month over month in expired listings that we can see, denoted by this little uptick right there. Okay, that's also 100 more expired listings than we saw last June, which is a 6.6% increase year over year. So bottom line is more listings are going stale. Sellers who price too high or wait too long are watching their listings expire without offers, or at least without any offers that they're accepting, okay? So where does this leave us? Where does this leave buyers, sellers, and everybody else in the market or watching the market? So inventory is up, sales are down, time on the market is longer, sellers are negotiating more, but prices are still holding steady, at least for now. So if you're a buyer, you've got more options, more negotiating power. I really can't stress that enough. Pretty much every deal that I have done in the last year, we've been able to negotiate the price down and more time, okay? So you got, as a buyer, more options, more negotiating power, and more time. But the best homes are still moving fast. So like really, really nice homes, I always say like Martha Stewart certified or HGTV certified, those homes are still moving fast as long as they're priced correctly. So timing is really everything, okay? You wanna make sure you have that pre-approval ready to go. You wanna make sure you're working with somebody who's, taking you and providing you with the listings that actually match what you're looking for, so that you're not wasting a bunch of time looking at stuff that's not the valid option. And you want to make sure that you're seeing those homes quickly, not waiting a week or 2 weeks, because although it's possible it could still be on the market, if it's a really nice home and it's priced correctly, it could still go fairly quickly, okay? So what does it mean if you're a seller? If you're a seller, this market demands a plan, okay? Pricing, strategy, and presentation are not optional in this market. They're absolutely critical, okay? So if you would like help navigating your next move, you can book a free consultation with me using my Calendly link in the description down below. Whether you're buying, selling, or just hanging out, watching my videos, what's going on in the market, I'm here to help you guys win. My contact info is all in the description down below. My phone, email, social, you name it. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with somebody who needs to see it. It really helps the channel to grow and to help more people out. So I would really appreciate that. Jake Fletcher here with the Fletcher Group at eXp Realty, your Miami real estate agent, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.